I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. Whatever.
Hello and welcome to another episode of BCG's Talking Shit. My name is Barrett Courtney, and here joined with me are my great co-hosts and even better friends, Henry Montiero.
This is how the Batman dies.
And Ricky Baldazan. He has got nothing to say today. And here at Talking Shit, if you don't know, what we do is one of us brings in a topic of discussion, and then we talk some shit about it. And usually we have 3 topics each week. And lately, if you've been noticing, we've been doing a lot of top 10 lists lately. We did video games, then we did movies, and this week, just for you guys, we're doing our top 10 favorite albums of all time. We'll probably do a playlist where you can watch all of the top 10 stuff at one point, so if you want to watch all of them, you haven't yet, you can check those out. We've got some really, really good lists, especially last week, Henry and I, by ourselves, did movies, which was very nice. We had a very, very somber moment at one point. There was a lot of hugging. A lot of hugging and touching butts. It was great. So, albums. We're huge music fans, and that's something, like, we do want to cater more to the nerdy audience and stuff, and, like, there's a lot of communities that I'm part of, like Kinda Funny and all this stuff, and they talk a lot about video games and pop culture, but I don't feel like they talk enough about music.
You could be music's nerdy, I guess.
Exactly.
I am the king of music nerds.
They talk enough about their fucking 311 bullshit or whatever.
Yeah, fuck that.
I respect you, Colin Moriarty.
You
but
beautiful,
311?
You beautiful disaster.
You beautiful disaster. Your show garbage truck on fire.
Yeah.
Yep. So, we want to talk about music today, because we're huge music fans. And I don't even know anybody who doesn't like music, except for maybe Rasan.
I know a couple people that, like, they'll listen to music, but they're one of those, like, we'll listen to
And the only
everything
reason I say
like,
Rasan doesn't like music is because he doesn't like the Beatles.
Right.
And it's not that he doesn't like the Beatles because he fucking hates the Beatles, which I don't understand. I can understand if the Beatles aren't your thing.
Yeah.
But how can you hate the Beatles? I don't know. The Beatles.
The Beatums.
All right, so how we're going to do this, we usually do 3 topics each week. This one is only going to be two topics this week. Yesterday was Batman Arkham Knight. Today we're going to do top 10 albums, but today we're only doing 10 through 6, and tomorrow you'll see our 5 through 1, including some honorable mentions. So let's just get right into it, guys. Ricky, your number 10, top 10 album of all time.
Okay, so my first 2 for this list are obvious as fuck.
Obvious as fuck? Okay.
Obvious as fuck. My number 10, I started off with Cockspar's Shock Troopers.
Shock Troopers. Okay.
It's it's their more well-known album. It has more of their hits on there. This is a band that I found in high school, searching for new punk to listen to, and now they're very good friends of mine, and
which is awesome.
High heroes.
If you haven't seen that episode, check out our episode of Talking Shit, the greatest moments of our lives.
Yeah, and great friends of mine that I still don't know how to talk to necessarily, like, without throwing up. But it's a solid album. If you like punk music, generic shit, you like this album. I think.
Basic bitch shit.
Basic bitch.
If you like yelling at your parents,
if you like yelling and talking about being an old person and how you used to be a teenager, even though you're like
23
or something,
yeah.
You'll love this. It's a great solid album full of a lot of stuff. I like it more because I know, like, the personal aspect of what he wrote for these songs, and it means a little bit more to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, great solid album.
Cool. Henry, your number 10.
my number 10 is actually by a band that we've mentioned before on this show, and not by me, but by you.
I actually know what this one is.
Yeah. My number 10 is Silent Alarm by Block Party.
Great album. Fucking solid.
And it's like, it isn't an album that, like, I don't feel like this album is going to go down as it should as one of the great rock albums of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Because when you think, like, the great rock albums of the 2000s, you have, like, oh, is this it?
Yeah. Which I don't even think is that great of an album, to be honest.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. Like, I think it's good, but I don't think, like, it's as good as everybody, like, Julia Sayavong hypes it up to be.
Yeah.
Julia? You mean Julian Casablanca?
God damn.
I hate that joke, but I always use it.
Yep.
Or, like, those 2 White Stripes albums that everyone loves.
Icky Thump and...
No, Elephant and White Blood Cells.
Okay, there.
Which are great albums.
Mm.
But Silent Alarm, like, something about Block Party just hits me in a way.
Yeah.
There's something about, like, how they write their songs that makes them feel like they mean something more than they probably actually do.
Right. Block Party is one of those things that I don't know if any of you two, like, feel that way as well, but Block Party almost, like, opens, like, another part of like my childhood because they're always like soundtracks to movies and stuff. They've always been there. Skateboarding games, snowboarding games. They've just always been in my childhood in one way or another. So it's it's very nice. Block Party has always been like a positive thing for me.
Like everyone knows Helicopter.
Oh yeah.
Everyone
mainly because of Guitar Hero, but
Right.
Yeah. But then like there are so many other great songs on that album, like Eating Glass.
Oh yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Banquet.
Yeah.
I remember the reason I got into them was because I had Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, and that Eating Glass always stuck out to me. Like that was my favorite song on that
There's just
on that
something
track
about
list,
that
and I was just
song.
like, that was the first song I'd ever listened to that made me fucking feel almost existential and just like fucking felt alone in the world. And because it was so weird, that song would always come on like in the morning in the American Wasteland like game, and it's like always
know what
foggy,
you're
and it's
saying.
like no one's around, and I was just like, fuck, man.
It
And
is
that's
great.
like that song, like I had heard Helicopter before, but when I heard that song, I was like, I should
Glass is
pick
definitely,
this.
Like,
Yeah,
I should pick this
like
album
choice.
up.
Like Helicopter is definitely like the single off that album because everything else just feels so much more lonely on that album.
Oh yeah.
And like Block Party has continued that, and I still really like them
Mm-hmm.
even after like people stopped listening to them.
Yeah.
Because like their second album, I'm forgetting its name at the moment.
Yeah, they
Weekend for the City.
Yeah.
That's their fourth one.
Fourth, right? The 4.
Yeah. They definitely peaked a little too early, which is sad.
Weekend in the City is also really good. And then like Intimacy is decent.
I feel like
I didn't like the
I feel like they
Intimacy
would have
at all.
been. I feel like they would have been more popular if the Killers weren't a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're better than the Killers
Oh, yeah,
because like
by far.
because like Brandon Flowers, you wrote Mr. Brightside, and somebody told me
What else? What else did you fucking do
And
with your
when
life?
you were young,
Yeah.
you made 3 or 4 great songs, and now your new album just sucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like I really like this album, and I really think that it needs more attention in the modern rock scene.
Definitely.
Feel it.
And also, they have an awesome video with the guy who does those weird ass videos with the
The weird sheep
yeah.
and cows.
And I love that video.
Let's
and I
never
just wanna
talk about
point it
those
out
ever
again.
again.
Nope.
Moving on. My number 10, which this album you guys knew was going to be on this list, but I think you guys are going to be surprised how far down it's on this list. Blink-182 self-titled is my number 10. Blink-182 was a lot of people make fun of me for liking this band,
Including me.
including you. But you also listen to this band, and the other people who make fun of me for liking this band also listen to this
I
fucking
make
band.
fun of us for listening
Yeah.
to Blink, and I hella listen to Blink too.
Blink-182 was like the first band that I found for myself.
Right.
You know, like I was raised on REM, Bob Dylan,
Velvet Underground.
Velvet Underground.
I was raised on beer and poison.
The three that resonated with me the most was Dylan, the Beatles, and Velvet Underground. But then my mom brought in like REM and James Dixon, and then like my dad had like really
Grateful Dead.
God damn.
terrible ones like
Goddamn
Grateful Dead and Fish.
Potheads.
Goddamn. High school
Magnolia.
potheads. So Blink was like the first band that I like got myself into. It like wasn't from my parents or anything. So they're obviously a big part of my childhood, and they got me into pop punk like and what it is today. And the first time I listened to their self-titled album, I was like, "Holy, this is so different than what they were."
Mom, I'm scared.
But this is really fucking good. Like this is like even as a kid, I was like, this skill, like the skill that was needed to make this album was way beyond what they had.
Oh,
like
yeah.
at the time, it was almost
Yeah.
like when My Chemical Romance came out with the Black Parade. You're just like,
You shouldn't make this. You're not good enough.
are you sure you guys were the ones who wrote this
Yeah.
album? Like it was just like fucking. With the exception of Feeling This, like Feeling This is like it's a
a Blink
decent
song.
Yeah, it's a decent song. It's a good way to start off that album because that whole album's about a breakup, so it makes sense to start it off with like it's just about sex and all this stuff, and then it slowly gets darker and darker, but the rest of the album's just fucking, it's awesome. And my good friend Kalen Flanagan, like when he first listened to this album, like the song that he realized this is a different band, this is a different Blink, was Violence, which I
That's
don't
such
agree
a good
with.
song.
I think Obvious.
You're different, Batman. Something different about you.
Yeah, I think Obvious was the song that I was
Yeah.
like, this isn't Blink anymore. Yeah. But it was like in a good way.
Yeah,
And then they tried to come back and recreate it, and it was fucking awful.
No one cares about Neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods was awful. Dogs Eating Dogs was awful.
I stole that album.
We just pretend that they never came back.
Yeah.
They died in 2003.
I stole Neighborhoods.
Ricky, what is from Daniel?
Yeah.
Ricky, what is your number 9 top favorite album of all time?
My number 9. I was surprised I put them
Number
so
9.
low on my list.
Number 9?
Number 9. I was so
The White Album.
I was really surprised that I put them so low on my list because they're like one of my favorite bands of all time. But on a sense of like talent and great album throughout, they shouldn't have been like on my top 5 or anything. But Misfits, Static
Knew it.
Age.
Okay.
Ow, my hand.
Were you thinking about it?
Yeah, I was like, so are you talking about Velvet Underground?
No.
Beatles? I was like really confused of where you were going with this.
See, that's the difference. I said not worthy of being on my top
Yeah,
5.
and that's when you were saying that. That's when I was really lost. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
Close is all hanging, let it go somewhere.
Yeah, so Misfits, Static Age, any person who's like very punk and listens to it has to have Misfits on their category of at least in a respect kind of way.
Mm-hmm. You got to know where the scene came from.
Yeah, you got to know.
Gotta respect Danzig even though he's a fuck.
Yeah, Danzig's a fuck. Everybody else in the
I'll be right
band's good.
He officially has a fuck.
But again, everyone who listens to punk should have Misfits somewhere on their respect list. They started a whole different weird sub-horror punk genre that was really out of the box out of the time.
That unfortunately, at some point in time, led to Hollywood Undead.
And that unfortunately, at some point in time, led to a lot of horrible things. But that being said, it's a great, solid album.
Would you say it's their best?
I would say it's yeah. They didn't get worse. I love them throughout, other than them now with Jerry only running the show.
Yeah.
But definitely with like Michael Graves, I think they were still a solid band. But this is them at their finest. This is their best work. This is their swan song. It's great. It's solid music. It was their era.
Okay.
It's a long fucking album and it's great.
Henry, what's your number 9?
My number 9 actually has a tentative connection to your number 10. It's
Angels and Airwaves.
No, it's Disintegration by The Cure.
Yeah, because Robert Smith guest starred on that Blink record. Which I really love this song. This song's awesome.
Yeah.
But I also really love The Cure.
Yeah, so I had to give this like a place on my list because I love this album.
Yep.
Because I love The Cure. Because I'm a moody little bitch.
Yeah, as we all are here at BTG.
But yeah, I had to put this on the list somewhere.
Okay.
Because this album is something about this album just made me really start thinking about like how a song can be composed. Because before this, I was just like, a song needs to like the vocals need to start in like the first 30 seconds, and it needs to be 3 minutes long, and it needs a guitar solo.
So you're basically everybody in the 50s.
Yeah.
Or early 60s. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
And then then I heard Lullaby for the first time, and that song made me shit myself.
Wow. That's a very drastic reaction to that.
It's a very disturbing song.
It is.
He was just listening to it as a baby, and he was just like happened to be pooping in his diaper when he was listening to it.
That's how it actually happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of the song. He just happened to be pooping at the same time.
I listen to music on the toilet.
Yeah, so do I.
He doesn't take.
What do you think I do with my time when I'm on the toilet for like half an hour? I'm like either looking at porn or listening to music.
Lullaby by The Cure. Sponsored by Fiber One.
But it's like that song made me think about like how a song can be composed on just like atmosphere and texture.
Yep.
Because like goth music, like goth rock, I love what it does with guitars. Don't you fucking do that to me, man. This ain't Skinny Puppy. But it's like you before it was like, okay, so the guitar, you need 3 chords and bass should follow that. And then with goth, it's like the bass is the main instrument and guitar's just used for texture.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you add like the strings and all that and the synths.
Yeah.
And you add it all up. And it makes like just like this very enriching atmosphere of just like, I'm dark and mysterious. I'm Batman. Batman listens to The Cure.
All right. That's a good pick for your number 9.
And also, Fascination Street has the best bass line of all time.
I highly agree with that. Highly. Yep. My number 9. I'm very surprised this band made it on any sort of list of mine.
Follow the Leader by Korn.
Turning off my phone so you don't see it. Very surprised. I was like, because this was also in the era when Blink-182 came out with Untitled. This was also in the era of a lot of great albums coming out in the mid-2000s.
I know.
And this album definitely changed this band and how people view this band. And sadly, this band had a great downfall after this album, much like Blink-182. Green Day's American Idiot.
Oh, no, I knew it. I fucking knew
So
it.
you can't be mad, though, because that album is fucking awesome.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Chunk by Sum 41.
It is.
Which I also
surprisingly, Sum 41 is not on my list. They were close, but they had no ticket.
This album almost made it on my honorable mentions, but I took it off. I was like, no.
But it's also not because of how good the fucking album is, except there's a lot of albums on here where it's almost perfect except for one song, and this song on this album is the title song, American Idiot, because they played it over and over and over again. Yeah. But it's also not because of like how great that album is. Like the longer tracks, like Jesus of Suburbia and Homecoming, are fucking masterpieces for Green Day, at least. Like when you look at the rest of it, I think those are the best written songs they've ever done. But also, I didn't always live here in San Francisco. I used to live in a place back in Ohio. But the first time I ever But the first time I ever came to San Francisco on vacation in 2005, the same year this album came, or 2004 or something.
2004.
It was like the summer or whatever this album came out. And my first memory of San Francisco is like driving around the streets listening to this album on my Walkman.
No, I understand why I definitely...
On my Walkman. Holy fuck.
I definitely understand why it would be in any of our lists. Because
it's a great rock opera.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before.
You just can't say no to a great rock opera, man.
This is the last perfect, like, teenage defining album.
Yep.
Because, like, ever since that album, like, people are so split in what they listen to.
Yeah.
You got, like the punk kids and the indie kids and the metal kids and the kids who just listen to pop.
But
this album brought everyone together.
Yeah, and like, even, it wasn't even a generational thing. Like, my parents were listening to this album, you know? Like, my dad, like, fucking thinks Green Day is, like, one of the dumbest bands ever, but he, like, listens to some songs. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
The weirdest point in my life, being in the car and listening to my dad sing along to American Idiot.
Yeah, and then, like, my mom was really into this album as well, and, like, my stepdad loved this album, and, like, my stepdad fucking loves Creed. Like, he has terrible music taste, but he was
Fish.
Like, no, my stepdad likes Creed. My dad would fucking beat up anybody who would listen to Creed, and he's like a pacifist at this point.
Creed is the worst thing that ever happened to music.
It very much is.
There are people,
but going on. Let's not focus on the shitty parts of music in our lifetime.
Can we have a show where we just talk shit about Creed?
No. I'd rather not spend my life wasting all of that time
on Creed.
I'd rather waste my time talking about stuff that we
you have to
think
accept
is awesome.
with your arms right here.
So yeah, it's just that memory of like driving around and experiencing San Francisco for the first time and finding out like, oh, Green Day's from the Bay Area, and listening to this album. I was like, fuck, I'm such a tourist, but this is awesome.
And now Billy Joe's a twat.
And now Billy Joe Armstrong is sort of a fuckface. But who cares? He made a good album once.
Take me
Ricky, what is your number 8?
So, just to add more douche to my list, I think this band has the douchiest lead singer in the world. But for some reason, I fucking love the guy.
Misfits?
I was gonna say something else. I'll say it after we record.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Gonna say. Bigger douchebag than Danzig. I'm
Axl Rose?
No, not that big. So, Stone Temple Pilots, Purple.
Wow, very interesting.
I have like the most secret, like I keep this. This is
like one of your guilty.
Stone Temple Pilots is like my mistress. Like I keep that shit down low.
It's your guilty pleasure.
I don't advertise that at all, but I absolutely do.
That's something new I've learned about you today.
Yeah.
In our friend, like we're best fucking friends, and like I didn't even
he knows everything. He didn't know I like Stone Temple Pilots.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you because I always preferred Core.
Oh god. And as I'm saying this, I'm changing the next band because I'm taking them off. I don't think they should.
Okay.
Because I was looking at this as
Calling an audible.
yeah. I was looking at this album as like favorite albums that are greatest albums instead of just like my favorite albums.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing like my favorite albums. I know there's some albums on here that, especially in my honorable mentions, that aren't so great, but I still fucking love them. I think they should be mentioned.
So I'm just so when we go into our 7, know that this wasn't originally my 7, but I just thought of it, and that should have been on my list no matter what.
But we're talking about 8 right now. Stone Temple Pilots, Purple.
Yeah, so
right.
Stone Temple Pilots Purple, I think it's their most solid album.
Mm-hmm.
It's when Scott was at his sexiest.
Okay.
Just doing this.
Just doing this.
I wouldn't understand the reference because I don't listen to Stone Temple Pilots.
He's a drug addict.
Okay.
Solid, powerful, like some of the most well-known music in the genre, and it's powerful fucking music. It might be about fucking nothing. It might be about drugs. The cover of the album is a metaphor for drugs. It's a solid album. It's a big thing in my life. It reminds me of my fucking dad dancing like Scott. It's just fucking. It's like Morrissey, but even more.
Even
Morrissey. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on the album. They fucking okay. So what? Just to show how great this album is, I my favorite live performance of them doing Unglued, which is my favorite song on this album. On Letterman, for a Christmas special, they sang that song from Charlie Brown, and then went straight into Unglued.
Oh, nice.
And I thought it was like the greatest choices to do last second for a live performance. But whatever.
While on drugs.
While on drugs.
Nice.
I still think their best song is Tripping on a Hole in a Paper Heart, but I'm a trash.
Yeah.
All right. Henry, what's your number 8?
I like weird music.
Yes, you do.
And you knew
Please tell me it's Swans.
Who do I look like? Asher?
Yeah.
I do, actually.
Not really.
Well, when I don't have a beard.
Okay. Anyway.
You knew that this band was going to be on this list, and you love them too.
Velvet Underground.
Actually, not on my list because I knew you two were going to put it on your list.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that, like, I didn't put on my list. Like, Dylan, that, like, I knew you were going to do it and take care of. So I'm just going to put that out there now. Dylan's not on my list.
Go ahead.
The Mollusk Queen.
Oh! Wow! I'm very surprised. Like, I like Ween. I think they're fun and all that stuff. Again, my dad raised me on, like, the weirdest stoner music ever. And that was, like, one of those bands. I got to see them live, but...
I saw them live, too.
Nice.
I didn't.
No, go fuck yourself.
You went a very quiet, awkward... I love quiet.
So why is this album on your top 10?
Well, for one, Ween is a family band. Isn't that right, Seven?
An official 7.
If you didn't,
what?
If you didn't hear it, 7 just immediately responded with what?
Ween's a family band.
Yes, absolutely.
Ween is a family band.
Okay.
And so, like, our family listens to Ween, and this is my favorite Ween album. I think everyone else in my family says Chocolate and Cheese or God Ween Satan.
I think my dad's favorite is Chocolate and Cheese.
But
I really like that one.
I think this is their best because it's the one where they just, like, they focused it, but it was still weird.
Yeah.
Like, 12...
There's more of, like, song structure and all that good stuff.
Like, 12 Golden Country Greats, they focused that one, too, but it's just too much country.
Yeah.
But this album, like, it's still weird as hell, and all of the songs are just, what the hell am I listening to?
Yeah.
Like, even the poppiest song on it, Ocean Man, also known as that song you remember from the
ending of SpongeBob movie.
The most...
I forgot about that.
That movie had the weirdest soundtrack. It had, like, Ween, Wilco, the Flaming Lips.
It was, like, the weirdest shit.
The Shins, Motorhead.
I love that you know all of the bands that were actually on
You do realize I have that soundtrack on my computer.
Now I do.
Along with a Powerpuff Girls CD.
Oh,
that
great.
he burned.
Oh, yeah.
This shit's going.
The official 7. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I do agree with that. I do
Like,
really think
the
Mollusk
most,
is awesome.
like, Ocean Man. Like, the poppiest song on that, it's just like, why am I just listening to these two super white guys doing a Caribbean shuffle? Doing the old shuffly shuffle. It just starts with a, like, like a show tune by just like they sound like an like a small child wearing an old man mask. That's what this whole album sounds like to me. Like two small children wearing old men masks, yelling about the ocean.
Okay.
And I love it.
Yeah. It's a good way to describe it.
Reminds me of the movie.
Have you listened to this album at all?
I'm gonna make you listen.
You should listen to it. I don't
That's
have it
why
on
I've
my...
been quiet. I'm like, I'm gonna let them know. No idea
Like,
what to
it
say.
reminds me of Trash Humpers, the movie by Harmony Korine, which is a movie about some people in old men,
Masks.
like old people masks humping trash. This is a real film.
All right.
I've watched it.
Cool.
I love this.
I'm glad you have this album. All right.
Hey, little boy, walk with me.
Moving on. My number 8.
Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth.
Wait. Oh, you're joking. I was like,
Oh no! That's on my list too!
the moment I know Barrett has gone senile is when
When I say Smash Mouth, this is my favorite.
Oh no.
It's my favorite band of all time.
What is it though?
4 Year Strong's self-titled album. What?
No, I'm kidding.
What? Yeah, the one that just came out.
Shot.
Yep. It's a great butt shot. Now you might be thinking, hey Bear, it's a little too early to have this album on your top 10. But you know what? I love 4 Year Strong. 4 Year Strong is like one of my favorite modern bands of all time.
Hey, if I put a movie that's like 2 weeks old as my number one.
Yeah, exactly. And 4 Year Strong, they came out like a couple of months ago. And this album is just, it's their best. It brings every good thing from their past album and they put it into one. It's like Shovel Knight in a way. Where Shovel Knight is based off of all of these great games, but all of those great games had parts of them that like didn't make it as great or something.
Right.
But they put all of these great aspects into one game and it's just fucking solid and it's awesome all the way throughout. That like 4 Year Strong Untitled is basically the music version of Shovel Knight in a way.
Ginger ale tastes like an airplane.
Gross. The one thing I would have to say, again, it's like these albums that are perfect, but then there's just like one song. And it's not even that the song is bad, it just doesn't belong on the album, is the last song, Go Down in History. And the reason it doesn't belong is because it came out on an EP like last year.
I hate that
and
song.
it just felt like shoehorned into the... It almost felt like, hey, we need like at least a certain amount of time for this record to fill. We don't have enough songs. Let's put in this track that we made last year.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But the rest of that album is just so fucking on point.
It's even weirder because that's a title track of the EP.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my number 8.
Solid. It was a great album.
All I gotta say,
I need to re-listen to it.
Ricky, number 7.
Smash Mouth.
Number 7, one of my favorite bands in the fucking world. They would be in my top 5
The
favorite
Smiths?
bands ever.
Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Korn.
Melvin's Houdini.
Okay.
I fucking love this album. This album was fucking the first half of high school for me. This album can make me cry. This album can make me frustrated, but all in the best ways possible. It has the best album cover I've seen in my life. I love the album cover. It's disturbing. It's happy. It's great.
You know, Buzz Osborne's aged really well.
Yeah.
They're the fucking Melvins. They don't give a shit about anything. They'll make a song about dicks and
Picture
make it
St.
sound
Vincent.
like art.
Okay.
It's just what they do. It's a trippy album. It's dark. Listen to it.
All right. I will.
I'm just looking at pictures of people
Henry.
who look like Buzz Osborne now.
Henry.
Yeah.
Your number 7.
Oh. My number 7.
7? Coming?
He just like pops in.
They come in with a shirt with his favorite album.
You'll be surprised that this album didn't get much higher. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah, I knew where he was going with that. Yeah.
Okay, everyone here knows I love Kanye.
Which is so weird because this term was coined by yourself.
He's on your list.
You're a pretentious shit. I'm not gonna say the other word. You're a pretentious shit though.
Yeah.
And this is so weird that you like Kanye West. But then you actually got me into My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy when we were at your house and we were playing Smash Bros. And you just had it playing on vinyl. and like blasting in your fucking room.
And it sounds incredible.
It sounds so good, and like that, ow, 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 like that hook. I was like, fuck, this is actually. I was like, shit, this is really cool. And then I checked out the rest of the album. I was like, holy shit, where was I for 5 years?
It's because, here's the thing. I feel like with this album...
Go on.
I feel like with this album, Kanye did what no other rapper has done and very few other, like, poppy musicians have done.
Kanye West does what Kanye West does, not for Kanye West.
But to put it to the Kanye toast. He did what very few other pop musicians have done, and no other rapper, in my opinion, has done, by making an artwork.
Yeah.
This album feels like a fully realized concept.
Yeah.
To every point. The producing on this album, even when it's loud...
Why are you doing a measuring cup?
I like this one.
Okay.
Anyway, like, to me, like, every part of this album feels, like, completely thought out. Even things that feel like, weird decisions, like the fact
Letting Jay-Z rap on Monster. That's the worst. It's so weird because that album is so great, but that is the worst verse I have ever listened to in my entire life.
Okay, Jay, it's me, Kanye. So what I'm thinking is, I got this song. It's called Monster. Okay, I hear you. Okay, so
Kanye's like so ready for everything.
Well, yeah, because like Kanye is like, he's like, all right, I got this concept where like Monster's sort of a metaphor for like doing hella awesome and stuff.
No,
all right,
Monster's a metaphor for what fame does to us and what it does to us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got a verse. Godzilla, King Kong, likeness.
I'm just gonna start naming monsters. That's literally his entire verse, and it's fucking hilarious. And
that's followed by Nicki Minaj.
And then I had a status where I was like, God, Jay-Z's verse on Monster is so terrible, but then it makes it so worth it because Nicki Minaj slays on that fucking
Nicki
album.
Minaj gives one of the best verses I've ever heard in rap music.
Oh yeah,
right afterwards.
It's so weird because Nicki Minaj is such a joke in our friend group, but that verse in that song is actually hella fucking dope.
Like,
damn.
Ricky is slowly becoming more and more disappointed with me by the second,
but it's like
okay.
Then you have like Blame Game, and how like the last 3 minutes of that song is just Chris Rock going, God damn, your pussy ridiculous. Like, that is legitimately like the net.
And just like the fucking, I don't know if it's like a guitar like part or if it's a bass line, but to, what's the second track of that album?
Gorgeous?
I just gotta have you listen to that part, because even, like, you gotta appreciate, like, it's sort of like the rockiest part of that album where like you can actually like groove out to it. You're like, oh shit, like this is fucking awesome. And like the spoken word piece before that of like Who Will Survive in America, like that was fucking dope. And then leading into that part,
yeah, and also Runaway is, I'm gonna say it's Kanye's masterpiece.
I don't really agree with you there, but
I love that song, and I just love this album because it's like I'd say it's the best album of the 2010s. For a while, I was... He's angry at me at this point.
He's so fucking mad. Oh, I know what's going to be the fucking picture for this video. It's just going to be this album. Just to piss you off.
This album, but the circle instead of...
Can it be measuring cups, though?
In the center, it's like... It's the Kanye West cover, but the center is the cover to Houdini. I'm gonna Photoshop that and send it to you.
Shall we move on? Do you have any last remarks for?
But yeah, like I was debating whether this was the best album of the 2010s or Kendrick Lamar. I had to go
to Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, that was almost on my list.
Interesting.
But I had to go with Kanye because
gotta go with these.
Because we got to figure out who will survive in America. And the truth is, Kimya Dawson, who also looks like Buzz Osborne. I mean, look at this. Look at this.
All right, moving on. We're on number 7, right?
Huh?
We're on 7?
Yeah.
Who will survive in America?
My number 7.
If you didn't hear that, 7 just let out a what?
My number 7. It's the only album by this band. It's my favorite album by this band. It's the best album by this band. Revolver by the Beatles.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing.
I guess. Go on.
You guys were just like very just like. All right.
Just because I guessed this one. Wait, for your number 7? Okay, that one makes sense. Yeah.
Just solid all the way through. Like a lot of people argue that Sgt. Pepper's is probably. I think it's definitely the most important rock album of all time. I don't think it's the best. For a couple of different reasons, but like listening to like definitely they changed a lot in that album. But Revolver was just like this. I think it's the pinnacle of what the Beatles were.
Yeah,
you know, but it's like a sort of tie. I was going back and forth between Revolver and Abbey Road because both of those albums just showcase how fucking good that band is.
Revolver has Yellow Submarine, but Abbey Road has Mean Mr. Mustard.
No, Abbey Road has Octopus's Garden.
I kind of love that song for being so silly.
I want that to be my ringtone forever.
Mean Mr. Mustard.
It's just Henry going. That whole Revolver has Yellow Submarine, but Abbey Road has Mean Mr. Mustard. And then what did you say?
But Abbey Road has Octopus's Garden.
Like I just want that to be my ringtone for everyone, though.
Yeah,
constantly.
I don't think I need to explain much else. It's my favorite Beatles album. If you don't have a Beatles album on your top 10, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't have one on my list.
Excuse me.
I don't have one on my list, but I have good reasoning.
Okay.
I have one on my honorable mention.
This is our last round for this episode of BCG's Talking Shit, where we're talking about our top 10 favorite albums of all time. Today is part 1. We're doing 10 through 6. Tomorrow will be part 2, where we do 5 through 1, some honorable mentions. So this is our last round, doing number 6. Ricky, go.
Number 6, one of my favorite, another one of like my favorite artists in the world. More like idol than anything else. David Bowie's The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars.
He's so dreamy.
Yep.
So dreamy. I had a really hard time trying to pick like a I wanted to do one David Bowie album because I love like most of his albums.
Yeah.
Like most of his different characters as well. And for a while it was Aladdin Sane, and I was gonna put Aladdin Sane on here, and then I was gonna put this one. And then I forgot which other one I was going to put on. But I think like
Station to Station.
Yeah, I think so.
That's such a good album.
Yeah. But just to like everyone knows who David Bowie is, everybody knows his different characters, but like to get like the best out of it.
Who?
Shut the fuck up. But to get like the best out of David Bowie, like The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars.
You remind me of the Babe.
His absolute greatest album. He was fucking, like...
Sexy as fuck.
He was, like, sexy as fuck. Everybody wanted him at the time. He was a fucking superstar. He's a fucking superstar, but this was, like, his point where he was the fucking man.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I mean...
Does he remind you of the Babe?
What Babe?
The Babe with the power.
What power?
The power... Shit. Because I don't watch this movie.
I know every word to this movie.
I know you do. The power to...
Dance,
the power of... Voodoo, fuck.
You got it!
The power of voodoo.
You don't.
No, keep going, I know.
You do?
I can see
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the Babe.
Quiet. Goblin Babe.
Hide this from me, I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. Have anything else to say?
Oh, did you see?
No, I didn't see it. I saw it and I was like,
Oh, okay.
Cannot look.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, no, that was it.
He's a big David Bowie fan.
I love it.
I mean, I love David Bowie. I just didn't put him on my list because I love these albums more.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Henry, what is your number 6?
I'm just going to play it because
Nope.
Oh. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm going to play part of this because I can't summarize how great this album is without playing the
It's good.
opening.
No, because we're going to get copyright striked.
Oh, we're gonna get copyright strikes. You can't.
God damn it.
Yeah.
No.
It's a good
the
idea.
only reason.
Yeah,
but
it's a good idea, but yeah, that's right. No, just saying it.
My number 6 is Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Oh.
And for the next...
Was that the one that we were listening to on Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're listening to the whole album.
Yeah.
Because it's incredible.
Obviously, I'm not a huge Black Sabbath fan.
And for the next 5 minutes, we will just talk about how Black Sabbath is the greatest thing to ever happen. Isn't Black Sabbath incredible?
But, okay, go on, Ho.
Black Sabbath is the best metal band that ever existed. Rob Zombie already said it, but every metal band that ever existed is just playing Black Sabbath, whether it's slower or faster in a different key. It's all Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
Black Sabbath did everything, and this is Black Sabbath's perfect release. Because this sums up Black Sabbath and everything that they did. Giving us the heaviest goddamn song of all time with War Pig.
Mm.
War Pigs. And then just making speed metal with Paranoid.
Mm.
Yeah.
Giving doom metal its name with Iron Man.
Mm.
Yeah.
Giving us the best drum solo of all time with Rat Salad.
Mm.
Then just kind of ending with Fairies Wear Boots and Jack the Stripper for some reason.
Mm.
I never got that song.
Right.
And then, giving us the first real stoner anthem with Planet Caravan.
Yeah.
This album's perfect.
It's a great fucking album.
When did that album come out?
1970.
It wasn't the first stoner anthem, but okay.
The first rock stoner anthem.
Okay, there you go.
'Cause everybody must get stoned.
And yeah, I get that. Oh, you're.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's it. Thank you for watching. I
You're
love
right,
it.
you guy. Get the fuck out of here. It's my show, bitch.
Dethroning the king.
Long live the king.
It is the king who wears the crown.
My number 6, another recent album, and this was an album that two friends of mine, one of them is on the show, who kept pushing me to listen to this fucking album. They're like, listen to it. It's our song. It's our album of 2014, or at least one of them. Listen to this fucking album. My number 6 is The Hoteliers' Home Like No Place Is There.
I did.
The best modern emo album.
Did it help you open the curtains?
Yes. These guys, you were perfect in saying, you kept telling me, this is, the best brand new album that isn't by brand new. And you were just fucking on point. It's the missing album between Your Favorite Weapon and
Deja
Entendu, where, going from those two albums was sort of like Blink going from Take Off Your Pants and Jacket to self-titled, but in a more drastic way. So there's no middle ground to oh shit, fuck, these guys got hella emo. But the Hotelier definitely mixed those two sounds together, and they did it so well. And all the things that they write about is fucking just so real and on point. One of them is about being at most of the album is talking about one of his best friends and how they passed away, basically. And
well, now I'm sad.
And one of them specifically being at the funeral and seeing his family and stuff. And it's just so fucking just it's I definitely feel that on an emotional, a personal level, but also the way he writes. I don't know the lead singer's name. I don't know them by name, but
look it up.
The way he writes, especially for, I have to look up this song, the song title, but it's a big sort of I want to say metaphor, but also there's a better word for it, but housebroken, about seeing this dog at this house and trying to have the dog leave its owner and all this stuff. And it's sort of the greatest stories ever told that we've learned in Mr. Kim. So the greatest stories that we've ever been told are war stories that are really about something else, where people, instead of using, or in Life of Pi, where the whole story he's talking about, he's stuck on this boat with animals, but then at the end you realize that they're talking about a person. They're talking about people, and that's the same with Housebroken. The whole time, he's talking about this dog and, it being abused and all this stuff, and at the end, you sort of start to realize this is, at the beginning, you start to realize that it's not about a person, but it still hits you as hard. And the Dendron, holy fuck. That closing song is just awesome. And it showcases where this band could go if they ever decide. From what I've gotten from their writings online, it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing anything anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
But if they ever do, that last song totally showcases where they could go. These guys are almost on the level of if they keep keeping this up, they could be on the level of popularity of like REM when it comes to like emo coming back and sort of being in the mainstream.
No, I definitely.
Because they take a lot from REM's sound as well, like not just Brand New, but there's definitely like moments where you're like,
that's REM.
is that Michael Stipe?
Yeah.
So.
Open the curtain.
Yeah, there's a part in Your Deep Rest and then in Dendron where you're just like that was REM. But that was my number 6, and thank you for joining us for our part 1 of our top 10 favorite albums of all time. Today we did 10 through 6, and tomorrow you can join us for part 2 where we will do 5 through 1. Again, this is Talking Shit, where one of us brings in a topic of discussion. We talk some shit about it. Usually we just do anything we want to talk about, but lately we've been liking to do these top 10 lists.
I love them.
Mainly because the reason I like doing them, just to explain to our small audience here, is that you can start to understand more of where we're coming from when we talk about other things, you know? You can start to get a grasp of where do these guys come from, what influences these guys, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us and learning a little more about us today. What did you think of our list so far? You can comment below, tell us what you think. What are some of your favorite albums? Comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you have any questions, and if you have any topics for Talking Shit you want us to talk some shit about, you can tweet at us at baiazonagamers. You can tweet at me at bananalechong. You can tweet Henry at henrosaurus. And if you have any technical questions, you can also tweet at our tech guy at 7morris, but the O in Morris is A0. It's all in the description below. And if you don't use the tweets like our friend Ricky over here, you can also email us at baiazonagamers@gmail.com. And thank you so much. Join us again tomorrow for our top 5. And until next time, have a great day full of shit talking. Thank you.